All right. Welcome to the Nuke Zone. As you can see, I didn't feel like setting up the whole table. Okay, this is going to be a quick show. We're going to go over what happened Saturday. We're going to go over what happened Friday. I preach chaos, man. I preached that it could happen. It could happen. It didn't. Okay, we had one big upset. Other than that, it was just a lot of football with teams doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, we'll start off. Oregon USC. I thought USC had an advantage with this receiving core, and they did. Okay, they put up some good numbers. We'll get to that in a minute. But it didn't matter, okay? They lose 42-27. And frankly, they just left a lot on the table, okay? It is 14-14. Things are going good. You get stopped. You punt the ball, and Malik Benson goes for 6, okay? Down 21-14. Anyways, you get stopped, blah, blah, blah. Oregon has the ball right before the half, and they miss a field goal. Penalty flag comes out. Oregon ends up scoring a touchdown on the drive because you jumped over the line when you're just being dumb, just a stupid play. So then you go from giving up 3 to giving up 7. And then you go down the field and miss the field goal right before the half. I personally feel like there's a lot of plays where you lose games. Like you can pick out 1 to 3 plays usually, and that kind of decides the game depending on which way them plays go. That was one of them moments, okay? That field goal that wasn't turned into a touchdown. Missed field goal turned into a touchdown. That lost the game. Simple as that, okay? You go back, all this stuff could have happened. If that goes different, this whole game probably goes a lot different, just being honest. But it didn't, and Oregon just routed them into the win. Okay, Dante Moore, 257 through the air. Noah Whittington had 104 on the ground. And then I preached the penalties. Dude, USC, 8 penalties for 103 yards. Oregon had 11 penalties for 130. It was a penalty fest. There's flags everywhere, okay? But I mean, that little sequence right before the half, and it lost the game. Simple as that. I mean, you gave a punt return touchdown, and then you traded 0 points for 7 points. So it was a 14-point swing just like that. And it sucks for USC. They just didn't get the job done, quite simply. But the receivers, I said that I think they could do something, right? Because that's the best wide receiver core Oregon has seen. And, well, Jay Mava threw for 306, okay? And then Kobe Lane, 108 through the air. And then Tanook Hines, the true freshman, 141 through the air. Okay, good job there. But Mekhi Lemons, 7 catches for 34 yards. Thought he was a true mismatch, but Oregon shut him down. Simply, they just shut him down. Okay, but Mava, he threw 2 picks. Fumbled once. They got that one back. But you can't have them turnovers. You can't have them dumb mistakes and expect to win that game, okay? And that's quite frankly what just happened there with Oregon USC. They made too many mistakes to win the ball game, okay? I mean, they had a few defensive stands there in the second half, and they did nothing with it, okay? Shout out to Oregon. You got one more job to do. You got to beat Washington so you can get in the playoff for sure. Man, you're probably in, but you cannot lose to Washington, okay? USC, you got UCLA left. Hopefully you got some energy for that one. Good luck there. Moving on, OU and Missouri. This one was all Missouri for the first quarter. It was just, I believe it was 3-0 still. I mean, but OU couldn't do anything on offense at all. And Missouri started the game off the chart right down the field, but then they got settled for 3. OU's just stuck. They had -7 yards in the first quarter. And everything was going Missouri's way for the most part. I mean, OU couldn't do anything, like I've been saying. And then, bam, 87-yard touchdown to Isaiah Satenga. And from that point on, OU owned the game, okay? I mean, offensively, they didn't do nothing amazing, okay? Like I said, 87-yard touchdown pass. Well, they had 173 passing total, Mateer did. Over half of those came on one play, right? Well, one more yard than half, but you get the point. And then, but as a team, I mean, they ran 32 times for 103 yards. That's nothing spectacular. I mean, offensively, they didn't do really anything to win this game outside of the big touchdown. But defensively, they did. They had 4 sacks. They had 2 picks. They held Missouri to 3 of 15 on third down. And held Ahmad Hardy, one of the best backs in the country, 17 carries, 57 yards, okay? 3.4 carry. As a team, Missouri was 35 for 70 yards. They averaged 2 yards per carry. OU's defense is elite, and they're still getting it done, okay? Perbula came back for this game, and my opinion on the game didn't matter even when I saw him the starter. I had OU winning, and they won, okay? And they dominate. I don't think it would have mattered if Zollers or Perbula was out there. I think he would have the same result, okay? They took away the outside zone. I think Hardy's longest run was 20. Like, he just had nowhere to go. They were all over him everywhere. Great showing by OU's defense. They did get some passing yards there at the end. If you're going to beat OU, you're going to have to beat them through the air, frankly. You have to beat them through the air, or you're just going to have to beat their offense into the ground until that defense breaks because it's been on the field the whole game. That's how you're going to beat OU. And so far, I mean, since Ole Miss, nobody's done it, right? I mean, these last 3 games for OU have been spectacular. Okay, but they offensively, if you want to be a true playoff national championship contender, in my mind, you're going to have to get something going on the offensive side of the ball. They punted 9 times in this game, okay? And then they couldn't just run out the clock because they couldn't hardly get first downs, right? So offense is going to have to improve. I mean, Mateer, he has a low arm slot, as you've seen, not always, but he usually does have the low arm slot. And it affects accuracy, obviously, okay? I mean, that's going to be an off-season fix. Work on it. He throws the ball like he's playing baseball. That's my opinion. But he is still a good quarterback, okay? And they got to find ways to get things done on offense. I think you need to feed X more, quite simply. He's a grown man. Give him the ball. He can run the ball, okay? I would feed him more. And, yeah. But Mateer, he's missing on some throws. And it's continued all year, okay? He got hidden early in the year. You didn't play nobody. You beat Michigan. Everybody's hoo-ha. And then he gets hurt. And since he came back, it's honestly been a little worse. He has to get better. Simple as that, okay? But OU, I mean, your defense is elite. You got to keep getting turnovers, though. Keep getting turnovers. And if you can find something on offense, okay, you can find a true run game, I think, you can have a lot open up, all right? But good win by OU. They got one more to go, and they'll be in the playoff. Georgia Tech, you let me down, man. You let me down. I thought you were going to win this one. I'm not going to lie. And you got beat 42-28. And that's what happens when you start the game down 28-0. Okay, they started down 28-0, and then they score 14 unanswered, and you're like, okay, they're back in it. And then third quarter starts, and we're going and going, and they're right there at the goal line, and they're about to cut it down to a one-score game. Pick 6, end zone to end zone, just like that. And then watching the game, you're like, dang, Georgia Tech's out of it. And then they battled back. Okay, they're right back in it. They're down 35-28. All you got to do is get a stop and bam, just snap it right up the middle. Touchdown, man. Ja'Kurian Turner, 21 for 201 yards. 1 touchdown being that 56-yard run, the dagger at the end. Great game from him. Heinz will start out the game hot. But, I mean, Georgia Tech kept bringing pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure. That was the only way I thought they really could stop them was you just got to put up the absolute most pressure you can on them just to slow him down, okay? He's going to find the open targets. I mean, he's 20 of 27 for 226. A lot of that came in the first half. But, I mean, he got a job done. I questioned how he would respond after the Notre Dame game, and I think he responded great, okay? And he came out ready to play, and like I said, they jumped out to a 28-0 lead. They got a fourth down stop. They got an interception right off the bat. Great game from Pitt. I can't lie. That was you went into hostile territory at night and won a big game. Now you got to do it one more time. You got to go in and beat Miami. If you do that, I mean, you control your own destiny. You got Miami at home. What are you going to do with it? Okay? And Georgia Tech, I mean, that basically ends their playoff hope. I mean, it does. It ends their playoff hopes. Haynes just didn't get, I mean, he had 2 picks. It's 257 through the air, 76 rushing. But for the most part, Georgia Tech was shut down on the run, 33 for 121. I mean, that Pitt defense, Pitt's team as a whole responded great from that Notre Dame loss. They look like a completely different team, and they looked ready to win. And we'll see how they perform against Miami next week. Okay, BYU, Cincinnati. All right, LJ Martin, that's the story of the game. 32 carries, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 44 yards also. The dude averaged 6.9 yards per carry. He just ran right through them. Simple as that. Cincinnati, you had chances, okay? You missed 2 field goals. You were down 20-14 at one time, all right? And you threw a pick. I mean, Cincinnati had all the chances in the world, but they just simply didn't get it done. They fumbled inside the they fumbled inside the 25. Just a lot of things they just didn't get done. And BYU, done kind of what they've done all year outside of playing Tech, is they got the job done. They came in there and they ran through your face like they want to do. They are a tough physical team, and if you don't match that, you're going to get beaten. I don't think Cincinnati truly matched that, okay? And it showed. It was late in the game. It was 2nd and 3 or 3rd and 3. I'm not really sure. Can't remember off the top of my head, but LJ Martin, he gets stuffed at the line, right? The only difference was the defender fell down and he kept running. He didn't truck him or nothing. He just stood him up, and he got the first down, and that basically ended the game. And then to go on and score that drive again makes the score look a little better in their favor. But, yeah, big win by BYU. Utah, They were hoping that game would have went different, but at least they got a win in there. It's 51-47. This one was electric all the way around. You got a feel for Joe Jackson. The dude had 293 on the ground, all right? 12.2 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, and he got the L, okay? Both teams put up 5 rushing touchdowns. Wow. And for as many rushing yards there is, you wouldn't expect that many points, to be honest. But late in the game, Utah's down 47-44. It's 4th and 1, and Devon Dempier goes for 59 yards right up the gut down to the inside of the 5. And later on, a few plays later, takes it up the gut for a touchdown to win the game, 51-47. And Barton gets a pick right after that to seal the deal. Great win by Utah. I mean, you're probably going to be on the outside looking in without some things falling your way. Okay, that loss to BYU is going to stink. That was one that you truly had to have. The Tech one you could have got by with, but the BYU loss is going to sting you. And I think that's what's going to keep you out of the playoff. But high-scoring game down in Utah, good win. All right, Notre Dame. These guys were up 21-0 before they ever took an offensive snap. Okay, pick 6, block punt, pick 6. Dude, just electric right there. Poor Syracuse, man. They were starting to walk on freshmen. You got to feel for the dude. It's 70-7. Okay, I think it was 1942 was the last time Notre Dame scored 70 points. I can't remember the actual year. It was sometime a long time ago, and they got it done. Jeremiah Love, man, he honestly should be in the Heisman conversation, man. 8 carries, 171 yards, 3 touchdowns. 21 yards per carry. All right? I mean, I don't need to go into this any further. I mean, it was 35-0 after the first quarter. I believe it was 49-0 a half, something like that, maybe 56. Something. It was a blowout. Simple as that. Okay, my kid's trying to get in here. Okay. Ohio State handled Rutgers without Jeremiah Smith or Cornell Tate. Bo Jackson, 19 for 110. He had 2 touchdowns. Max Clare, 7 catches, 105. Ohio State is a complete team, and they're a really good team. But the one thing I question is what happens when they get punched in the mouth. And they have not been punched in the mouth yet, and we will see on Saturday. Because I promise you Michigan is going to throw the knockout blows. We'll see what happens, okay? Ohio State, so far, they are the best team in the country, right? They're number 1 for a reason. You're number 1 after you win that natty until somebody knocks you off. Nobody's knocked them off. Nobody's truly competed with them. Okay, Texas gave them a little run on the very first game of the year, and they still won. All right, so Ohio State's to lose. We'll see what happens. A&M, Georgia, Alabama, cupcake week in the SEC. They handled their business. A&M wins 48-0. They held Stanford to 77 yards. They were 0-15 on 3rd down. Marcel threw 3 touchdowns first quarter. Nice, easy game for A&M. A little tune-up. Right? You got a good amount of playing time for your young guys. A little tune-up right for Texas. That's good for them. Georgia, 35-3 against Charlotte. Big win. Alabama, 56-0 against Eastern Illinois. Same story on all 3. Miami, 34-17 at Virginia Tech. Carson Beck, 320 and 4 touchdowns. 0 picks. There we go. They stay alive. There's a path to the ACC championship. I've seen the tiebreakers earlier. I think they need. Basically, they need 2 teams to lose. I know them between Duke, Virginia, and SMU. 2 of them got to lose. Okay, I'm not going to go into all them tiebreakers. They're chaotic, and as chaotic as the ACC has been, I'm not going to rule them out of getting in. Okay, they're the best team in the ACC in my mind. They got to go to Pitt and win, though. All right, Michigan. We talked about Ohio State a minute ago. Now Michigan, man, 45-20 win at Maryland. People kind of might have thought it'd been a look-ahead spot. No, they came in ready to win. Kuzdal, 100 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. Yeah, man. They looked the part. They're ready for Ohio State. Coming in Ann Arbor. We'll see what happens. Can't wait to watch that game. Okay, good win, Michigan. Tennessee dominates Florida 31-0 at the half. And Deshaun Bishop, he had 116, 2 touchdowns. Florida's dead right now, but we'll see. I'm seeing the rumors about Kiffin again. I don't know if they get it done. We'll see after the Egg Bowl, I guess. It wouldn't shock me if it's announced before what he's actually doing, but big win for 10. Florida, they finally win at Florida. I think that was the first time in my lifetime Tennessee has won at Florida. I could be wrong on that. It's been a long time, though, right? About 03, 04. So I might have been just a little kid when it happened. Wisconsin upsets Illinois. Okay, 27-10, 5 sacks. Dupree, 17 for 131, 2 touchdowns. Solid game from Wisconsin, and the keep him fickle move looks a little better now. I mean, since you have announced that you beat Washington, you beat Illinois, you got something to build on towards next year. Here we go. TCU and Houston, 17-14. This is the most wild 17-14 game I probably ever watched. Just turnover, and then Houston does nothing with it. TCU's big stop. It was fun to watch. Houston missed 2 field goals in the fourth quarter. Would have won the game or at least tied it if you just make one. TCU, 4 turnovers, like I said. And Connor Wigman runs for 114. It was a fun game to watch. TCU comes out on top on the road. Moving on. Tulane, they handled Temple, just quite simply that. Vandy took down Kentucky. Diego Pavia had 400. He broke the passing record for a game or something. Like, he went off. Simple as that. But his Kentucky, great senior night for him. You got to go get it done against Tennessee now. All right. If you win, you might get in. Okay. We'll see. I mean, it's going to get chaotic. I told y'all, 10-2 doesn't guarantee you a spot. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, that's about it. I told you it's going to be a quick show because it is rivalry week. Okay? You heard me. Rivalry week. It is the best week of the college football regular season. It does not get better than this. You take your records and you throw them out the window. Whatever you're good at, throw it out the window. Because, frankly, you usually get, for the most part, everyone's best game. Okay? A&M in Texas, the Iron Bowl, Michigan, Ohio State, the Egg Bowl. Okay? You got Ole Miss, all this coaching controversy. Now they got to go on the road in the Mississippi State with all them damn cowbells. Okay? That is not a guaranteed win. No, it is not. Okay? Mississippi State's played teams tough all year. We'll see what happens. Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State's been beat 4 times in a row by Michigan. Michigan has owned them. Simple as that. I mean, there's guys that graduated from Ohio State last year and never beat Michigan. Okay? And there's guys on the team right now, and they've never beat Michigan. We'll see what happens. They got to go to Ann Arbor. And then just like that, Alabama has to go to Auburn. Okay? You got to play a Jordan Hare at night. There's some evil magic there at night. Trust me, I'm an Aggie fan. I watched it happen. I've seen the kick 6 happen. None of these games are guaranteed. I don't care if you're a 20-point favorite. I don't care if you're number 1 in the country. Anybody can get beat any week, but especially on rivalry week. A&M is not safe going in the DKR in Texas. I'm not going to lie. As an Aggie fan, we are not safe. The Iron Bowl, Alabama is not safe. Ohio State is not safe. No one is safe on rivalry week. Everybody has a 0-0 next to their name, and you go play football because your record does not matter. Okay? Your majority of the time, you're going to get every other team's best game. And a lot of times, if you're the better team, you're getting the other team's Super Bowl. Okay? It's simple as that. I mean, you got North Carolina State, North Carolina. You got Nebraska, Iowa. There's so many games I could talk about. And we're going to break them down all this week. Okay? Multiple videos. I'm going to drop the A&M and Texas one first because personally, I'm all in on that one. It's my favorite one. We're going to talk about them all, though. Individual videos probably won't be one big video. I'm just going to have them all broke down and do them day by day. But A&M Texas coming up first because I got to talk about it. I love it. I love it. And A&M's going to beat Texas, okay? Y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all throughout the week.